Karl Johann Friedrich Lerbs was a German writer. He was born in Bremen in 1893, the son of wholesaler Johann Friedrich Lerbs and Hedwig Carolina Margaret Grimm, making him related to the Grimm brothers. He attended the Alte Gymnasium, worked as a newspaper editor, reviewer and dramaturg of the Schauspielhaus in Bremen, and translated Oscar Wilde and Emile Zola. He refused to go into exile after 1933, working in the press service of the NSDAP. In 1936 he married writer and actress Renate Paula Julia Lienau. In 1946, after having his car confiscated and getting arrested twice, he got depressed and paranoid about being targeted by the authorities and committed suicide in Hindelang in Sonthofen. His collection, The Apparition, came out in 1921. The chain is the last will and testament of the Count of Immingen-Bocholt, realizing that the firstborn son in every third generation of his family dies prematurely, all because of the curse of a Jewish rabbi martyred in the dungeons of the castle Bocholt in 1402, as evidenced by an ancient manuscript he finds, and by the way that the curse affects all the afflicted, compelling them to draw the figure of the dead rabbi while having a fit, slowly completing more of the figure each time, and then dying when it is finished entirely. White Lilac has a man move into a very cheap apartment and being slowly possessed by the ghost of a dead woman to finish writing a love confession to her surviving beloved, it ending with the writer's obsession and death. Judgment concerns a man having his mental breakdown accidentally witnessed by a burglar, so he kills the intruder to avoid the embarrassment. The final section of anecdotes, however, is very repetitive, everyone being about how someone, usually from a Hansa city, got rich through speculation, lies or blackmail. Richard Euringer was a somewhat infamous German writer. He was born in 1891 in Augsburg. During World War I he served in the Air Force stationed in Anatolia and the Sinai. He joined the NSDAP in the 1920s, contributed to the party newspaper Volkischer Beobachter since 1931, and in 1933 he wrote the dramatic poem Die Deutsche Passion, portraying Hitler as the literal messiah of the German people. Of his play Der neue Midas, Leon Feuchtwanger said, "It was only the audience's immense patience that they did not react by throwing stink bombs onto the stage." He served as a major during World War II, was interred by the US Army after the war and died in 1953 in Essen. His 1921 Das Kreuz im Kreise, The Cross in a Circle, is still worth a look. It is a book I would usually hate where nothing happens, and it is all just characters discussing symbolism, but for some reason it is very readable. The first section has a wanderer come to town, watching the local boys shooting arrows into a wall, an old man fixing the wall while saying the wall will crumble eventually anyway, because it is 500 years old. Then his guide shows him the factory district and the local abbey. Then they spend the rest of the book talking about giant walls encircling the whole world, a massive tower in the middle, talk about women who are like spiders spinning webs across the sky, the wanderer killing the woman in himself because it resisted him, and how two are free and three are two and one at the same time. Heinz Alfred von Biern was a German nobleman and writer. He was born in 1885 at Borna near Oschatz in Saxony, the son of Baron Friedrich Gero von Biern and Anna Melanie Kehl. During World War I he was an officer in the Offizierskorps 2. Ersatzbataillon Jäger Nummer 8 at Schlettstadt. In 1907 he was engaged to Countess Karla Einsiedel, and the pair had a child in 1908, but never ended up getting married. He died of a heart attack in 1940 at Buschow. His 1930 Der Tod, die Frauen und der Fremde, or Death, Women and the Stranger, has the narrator stay in Romania, at the hunting lodge of Geza Margiloman, with other guests including the ponderous Dane Arne Thorsen. Amid endless descriptions of the group trying to find wild deer to shoot in the face, they find Margiloman murdered. There is endless discussion about who might have done it, amid more boring hunting scenes, before Thorsen says he will supernaturally compel the murderer to confess, then digs up an Alraune root and burns it. Then the woman who did the murder, his own beloved, is forced to confess, because Thorsen thinks spirits psychologically tormenting people, and using his own will to force them to do things against their own somehow counts as voluntary. She did so to avenge the death of her father, mother and brother, whom Margiloman ruined and drove to their grave to steal their property. and then she kills herself. He then leaves and is never seen again, but that doesn't change the asshole nature of what he did.